Sanctuary's April Flowering Full Moon Circle. I'm Judith, and I'll be your guide this evening. With spring blooming all around those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, we celebrate the growing warmth of the season by honoring its newly arriving blooms and the fresh, bright green leaves filling out the trees. Even here in the city, where I look out my windows across several backyards, I see a pink flowering cherry tree, a poplar in its full white flowering magnificence. I see yellow, orange, and red tulips, and the honeydew mountain green leaves are now just arriving on the birch trees. And right below my window, the lilacs are in bloom, and I'll talk a little bit more about them during our Garden of Blooms offerings this evening. Tonight we will honor the blooming flowers with flower blessings, with our moon fire, and with a moon water blessing, as well as with a traditional Irish folk song celebrating the upcoming festival of Beltane, and flower healing for ourselves, others, and the planet. May your lives blossom and grow in the coming months with the ever-changing weather at this time of year. May you be refreshed and renewed by the fresh growing and spring showers. I am now so honored to introduce our High Priestess and Senior Minister, Reverend Selena Fox.
Thank you, Judith. It is great to be here with you and everybody who will be presenting tonight, everyone who's watching live, and who'll be watching and joining us later. Tonight is the full moon, and some call it the pink moon due to the wildflowers that are pink that this moon gets named for in some places. And the moon's at perigee, which means that this is a super moon. It's brighter and appears bigger. So I am so glad that we all are gathering here. Full moon circle, full moon night, super moon magic, flowering right. Full moon circle, full moon night, super moon magic, flowering right. Full moon circle, full moon night, super moon magic, flowering right. We call to the divine as one. We call to the divine as multitude. The divine is one in many, within us and around us. Be with us and guide us now and throughout our right and in times to come. So be it. Blessed be.
Thank you, Selena. And now I invite Nikki to give our announcements.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our April Flowering Full Moon Circle. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Okay, so got a few announcements for this evening. Remember, make sure to check the Circle Sanctuary website at www.circlesanctuary.org for more information about all of this. Go ahead and check the website or the CSN Podcast Facebook page for a full schedule of upcoming podcasts for the month. Of special interest this week is the Beltane Fires podcast on nature spirituality, this coming Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Our next full moon circle will be the Sacred Trees full moon circle. That'll be taking place on Wednesday, May 26th. This coming Saturday, May 1st, is Circle Sanctuary's Beltane celebration. It will be live on Circle's YouTube channel from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pre-registration is required by this Thursday. Details for the live chat room that it will be following will be given at the end of the festival. Please also purchase your ticket for S.J. Tucker in concert at 5 p.m. Central that day. A portion of the proceeds will go to Circle for that concert. The virtual 2021 Pagan Spirit Gathering will be taking place from Friday, June 25th through Sunday, June 27th. Registration will be opening up on Circle's website soon. Also be sure to sign up for the Circle Times Bulletin on Circle's website, or send an email to circle@circlesanctuary.org and ask to be added to the list in order to keep up on information about online events and other news. Please also consider supporting Circle through joining the membership program. Members receive a newsletter, which is quarterly, a membership patch and card. Membership also includes discounts on products and events. You can also help support Circle by donating to the Circle Sanctuary COVID-19 Relief Fund or by shopping our online resource shop. I think that's everything. Thank you.
And thank you, Nikki. I know that's a lot, but we want to keep you all up to date. So I now ask Laura to cast our circle.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today on the full moon ceremony with Circle Sanctuary. And as always, I'd like to thank the gods and goddesses of technology for us to be able to join together. And as you will, if you want to put your hands around as in touching other people's corners and screens or up or in your heart, whichever way calls to you. And if you are mobile and want to face the quarters, please do so. But more than anything, in your heart, feel the callings that we're about to do. We all take together a big deep breath. We call into the north the powers of the earth. As the seed resides under it, it will find nurturing and it will grow and flower into a beautiful, beautiful fruit or tree or whatever it decides to do. Powers of the north, energy of earth, we welcome you to our circle. So be it. To the east, to the air, to the sun, we call for inspiration to nurture our mind, to grow strong, to breathe, and to be inspired. Welcome, air. To the south, we called for the spark of life, the energy, the fire, the vitality to keep us going and growing. We welcome fire. So be it. To the west, to the water, to our love and emotions, to our feelings, to what keeps us alive. Welcome, water. So be it. To the cosmos above, we call to learn and to understand the infinite divinity of diversity. Welcome, cosmos. Blessings. To the earth, which we just celebrated a couple of days before, to the earth that contains the beautiful vibrations of life, we connect and we welcome you, earth. With spirit within us, spirit around us, spirit on this magical cyber world, and the spirit of the divine source. The circle is cast. So mote it be, so it is.
Lovely, Laura. Thank you so much. I now call on Richard to light the moon fire kindling, please.
Usually we always have a good-sized bonfire. The fourth of the major fire circles at Circle Sanctuary is at the Sweat Lodge. To get there is about a 20-minute walk from the temple room. You go down the gravel driveway to the bridge over the stream. The stream is named Stream of Consciousness. Then along a trackway by the stream through the willow brush, then up a hill. The circle is under large oak and walnut trees. The ritual circle is big enough to accommodate about 30 people. I light this beeswax candle in anticipation of future full moon fires at Circle Sanctuary. So mote it be.
So I invite you all to raise your candles and light them. These are all our presenters welcoming you here this evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for joining us later. Blessed be. I now call on Selena to do a full moon circle chant.
So we are at the flowering time. And of course, what is in bloom depends on where you are. I invite you to connect with the elements in their flowering form for self-healing and wellness. We'll connect with the earth, our bodies, the air, our minds and intellect, the fire, our stamina, our vitality, the water, our emotions, and spirit, our souls. Flowering of the ground, sacred earth, we call to you. Bless and renew our bodies. Flowering of the vines, sacred air, we call to you. Bless and renew our minds. Flowering of the branches, sacred fire, we call to you. Bless and renew our vitality. Flowering of the marsh, sacred water, we call to you. Bless and renew our emotions. Flowering of the moon, sacred spirit, we call to you. Bless and renew our souls. So mote it be.
Bless and renew us. Thank you very much, Selena. I now call on Dale to tell us a little bit about moon water and give us a moon water blessing.
Good evening, everybody. Tonight I'll bring you a moon water blessing. This moon water I've put into this clamshell. You might be asking, what is moon water? I light together water from natural resources. This particular water was gathered from the first snow of the season. I melt it down. I said some prayers and purified it by my own tradition. And then I set it out in the light of the full moon to charge. And so this moon water, as with sacred water in a lot of traditions, is used for blessing, for ritual work, for cleansing, and for recharging. And so with that in mind, I give this blessing tonight. The mother of all pours out her goodness, and all creation blooms with life. She waters the world with her blessings, and the flowers of her love spring forth. We thank you, Mother, for the flowers that you give that become our food. Bless them and increase them so that they may become for us a bountiful harvest. We thank you, Mother, for the flowers that you give for health and medicine. Bless them and strengthen their potency that they may become for us healing balms. We thank you, Mother, for the flowers that you give for simple beauty's sake. Bless them and let them reflect your own true beauty, that they may ever remind us of you. The cup of the Mother's blessing is now full, as the moon is above. May it be poured out in all your lives and upon the whole earth. So mote it be.
Thank you, Dale. I'm now going to introduce Laura, who's going to tell us about the Garden of Blooms that we're now going into.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. And as always, I ask you to please tap into your imagination as this ceremony allows us to do so. If you live close to a garden or close to the woods or in a place where you can be in touch with nature, that is wonderful, and all the blessings to you. However, there are so many of us who don't have access to those places, and we have to use our imagination and moments such as this to be in touch and to connect with nature. Once I heard a very wise woman, her name is Selena Fox, saying that the best way to keep your mind sane was to be 5 minutes in nature. So even if you walk 5 minutes in the city, look at the trees, listen to the birds, it's a beautiful gift. And right now, look at the flowers, they are blooming everywhere. I don't think a spring was ever so desired as the spring of 2021. Boy, have we been under the ground as seeds, fighting to flower and to bloom. And thank you, Goddess, here we are, and we are alive, and we must continue with a metaphorical spiritual garden to understand that the colors of spring give us motivation, that a garden only blooms when it blooms together, that vines, flowers, and trees depend on each other to bloom and to grow, that the abundance and the joy of nature translates to the abundance and the joy of our spirit, that in harmony and community, we can all flower together, and that the marigold is never jealous of the flower of the rose, and the rose is never coveting what the sunflower does. Each flower is blooming and growing on their own merit. And also to remember that every garden needs time, care, and love. And sometimes we plant a seed that might not bloom, and sometimes we will have an abundance of flowers that we probably don't want to have, but such is nature. And nature is the greatest teachers of them all. So I welcome you to our beautiful collection of flowers to celebrate this full moon. Blessed be.
That was a beautiful introduction, Laura. Thank you so much. So now Nikki is going to talk about one of the very first flowers of the spring, the crocus.
Hi, my flower offering for the Garden of Blooms tonight is the following poem. It's called The Crocuses. It was written by Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. They heard the south wind sighing, a murmur of the rain, and they knew the earth was longing to see them all again. While the snowdrops still were sleeping beneath the silent sod, They felt their new life pulsing within the dark, cold clod. Not a daffodil nor daisy had dared to raise its head. Not a fair-haired dandelion peeped timid from its bed, though a tremor of the winter did shivering through them run. Yet they lifted up their foreheads to greet the vernal sun, and the sunbeams gave them welcome, as did the morning air, and scattered o'er their simple robes rich tints of beauty rare. Soon a host of lovely flowers from vales and woodland burst, and in all that fair procession the crocuses were first. First to weave for earth a chaplet to crown her dear old head, and to beauty the pathway where winter did still tread. And their loved and white-haired mother smiled sweetly neath the touch, when she knew her faithful children were loving her so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. Richard is now going to talk about the dandelion.
Yes. Bright blessings of the maker on the lowly dandelion. It's an early bloomer and it's a source of first spring food for the bees. I use that as an excuse to not mow the lawn. It's entirely edible for humans too. Yellow and speckled sunshine on our urban lawns. So mote it be.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Richard. I'm now going to talk about lilacs. The lilac bushes are blooming in my backyard. I love that they welcome in the spring with luscious lavender blooms, which smell as beautiful as they look. The lilac bless us with the renewing of life along with the early crocus and snowbells. Flowering trees burst forth in order to prepare to bear fruit in the coming months. Blessing us with the knowledge that our food sources have made it through another winter as they prepare to nourish us again. Daffodils and tulips show their bright colors in celebration of the warmer weather, bringing us proof that the wheel of the year is continuing in its turning. We give thanks to all the flowering plants and trees. May they remind us to renew ourselves and bless us with their presence as they prepare once again for the celebration of the sun, growth, and new life. And now Steve has another dandelion blessing for us.
Yes, the thing I've always admired about dandelions is they're tough, and you keep cutting them back and they keep growing. In fact, I've even found a poem that goes, "Oh, dandelion, rich and haughty, king of village flowers. Each day is coronation time, you have no humble hours. I like to see you bring a troop to beat the bluegrass spears, to scorn the lawnmower that would be like fate's triumphant shears. Your yellow heads are cut away, it seems your reign is o'er. By noon you raise a sea of stars more golden than before." Rachel Lindsay.
Thank you, Steve. Selena is now going to tell us a little bit about Circle Sanctuary and what's blooming there right now.
Well, I bring you flowers from Circle Sanctuary, one small and one more dramatic. The small one is the violet, and yes, a sign of spring at Circle Sanctuary. The violets come out. We have blue violets, purple violets, and we have white violets. And so the blessing of the violet is to bless your mystical life, to bless you with spiritual wisdom and love. And I invite you to imagine that you have a violet in your own hand. And as you connect with that, connect with this magic of spring. So be it. And now I have a bit of serviceberry. What is serviceberry? Some call it a tree, some call it a shrub. It's actually more a shrub than a tree. It got its name actually from Appalachian mountain traditions. And that's because when the serviceberry started blooming, chances are the mountain passes had the snow melt away. And back in a day when you had people doing ministry that rode on horseback, it was a sign to go and do various services. So the serviceberry is in great abundance at Circle Sanctuary Nature Preserve. I communed with one of the serviceberry tree bushes yesterday and invited it to give me one of its branches to bring here for the night. And what blessing do I have with serviceberry? Well, we all can be of service to the larger circle that is our planet Earth. The circle of nature, the circle of life that's here on our planet. May we be blessed with our connection with each other, with the springtime, with the planet, wherever we may be. And may the serviceberry remind us to be of service, not only to ones we know, but to that larger circle of humankind and the even bigger circle of nature of which we are all part. So be it.
Blessed be, Selena. Thank you. So now we have Laura, who's got sunflowers in her hair, talking to us about sunflowers.
Oh, you noticed, didn't you? I have little fake sunflowers. They are fake. I couldn't find any yet. And I was not going to cut one either, just my personal preference. And I have to let you in the process of choosing my flowers. I choose the sunflower without knowing this wonderful news that Judith shared with me. The flower of the year 2021 is the sunflower. This is the year of the sunflower. Small or towering above the rest of the garden and producing edible seeds, what is there not to love? These flowers are just majestic and fantastic. But what has always caught my eye and my spirit with the sunflower, which is my favorite flower, is their ability to turn their neck and look for the sun and look for the blessings. And I think in 2021, it is called that we all unfold our necks and look up at the sun and look for our blessings. So my humble blessing to you is unfold your neck and look up to the bright side. If the weight of your seeds gets too heavy, let some go. Grow as tall as you will, and be bold, be bright, and be strong. Blessed be.
Well, the sunflower is perfect for you, Laura, and it is also a perfect metaphor for coming back out into the sun after a year of COVID. So thank you very much for that. I now call on Jennifer, who is going to tell us about the hyssop from her garden.
Hi there. I'm Jennifer, and this is the humble hyssop. And I will tell you this is dried because my hyssop hasn't quite bloomed yet. But nonetheless, it's a year-round delight because once dried, you can grind it up. And it is an aromatic that is beyond all. It releases just incredible oils. The power of the hyssop is not only botanical, but also magical. It's purifying and protective. But you've not really experienced it until you've seen it with the bees, because it's a powerful super pollinator. And the bees come all summer and into the first freeze, and they cling to the hyssop, and they overnight on it too, because they don't want to lose their place in line. It brings in butterflies and moths and hummingbirds, but mostly bees. And as I grind it, and as I make my charms, and as I wait for my hyssop to bloom, I hope for you the purification and the protection that the hyssop sends out to us.
Thank you very much, and may your garden bloom brightly this summer. So I am now going to talk to you about the gladiola. I bring gladiolas. Towards the end of the summer, this is my birth flower, the gladiolus. It raises its glorious blooms, adding more to its beauty and stature as it matures and the flowers open ever upward. May the majestic gladiola remind us of our strength and the will to continue to strive onward. May its beauty inspire the magic within us all. May its abundance of flowers encourage us to continue to flourish and grow. May the brightest days of summer warm our hearts throughout the year, and the memory of the summer flowers always be with us and enlighten our spirits and our souls. Laura will now close the gate on this Garden of Blooms blessings.
Thank you, Judith. Unfortunately, we cannot talk about flowers and blooming and life without reflecting on what is happening on the other side of the world. We have Samhain, and also reflecting on the lives that we have to say goodbye to. 3 million and counting worldwide. The Mexican flower for the dead, the cempasúchil, known as marigold. And the word cempasúchil means 20 flower. It means that this flower is actually a joint group of 20 or more different tiny flowers together. And it is traditional for us in Mexico, for the Mexica people, 3,000 or more years of tradition to use these flowers. We call it the flower of the dead, la flor de muerto. And we use these bright colors to remember those who have passed, not because of the sadness that we have, because we do have sadness. It is inevitable to feel sad for those who pass, to not feel sad for those who pass. Sadness and sorrow is the price we pay for the love we give and the love we receive. May you find it on your heart tonight, or on the day of Samhain, or on the Day of the Dead, or any other day, to remember those who passed, those who couldn't join us today on our full moon flowering ceremony, and may their memory live forever. Thank you all for joining us on this garden, beautiful time. And as always, many blessings.
Thank you, Laura. What a beautiful way to wrap up our garden segment, talking about the full cycling of life. So now Steve is going to sing us a song, an old Irish folk song about Beltane, which is so appropriate since Beltane is right around the corner on May 1st. Steve?
And I got to tell you, I looked high and low for flower songs in Ireland, and I found they all were these terrible, tragic, I'm clinging to the flower next to the loss of my love sort of thought. It's like, no, it doesn't mean so. It seems more appropriate to do Beltane. And fortunately, this is in phonetic as well, because I don't speak Beltane, but I don't speak Gaelic fluently. And I'll actually be doing the verse 1 and the chorus, and then I'll be doing the translation of that as well. So here goes. Babogrum bandian dion tauri, sorios glacon shigagon, kayin shamashian bayan glacier, hogiman han, the saurunin. Sauren, body on clownin, who could on hear your saurunin. Saurian wina, holian glaya, hogian win, the saurunin. Summer, summer milk of the calves, we brought the summer with us. Summer yellow as the glistening daisy, we brought the summer with us.
Very nice, Steve. Thank you so much. Selena, I invite you back on to give your flower healing blessings.
So we have a 3-part experience coming up. In the first part, I'm going to guide a meditation for personal healing. In the second part, I'm going to I'll introduce it and then have Chris the gnome, who plays wonderful flute, guide us as we do some flower healing work for others. And then in the third part, I have a special flowering of planet Earth that I will guide. So I invite you to take a few moments now in this part for personal healing, taking some deep, slow breaths to center yourself. And if you're in a place where you safely can close your eyes and you find that to be helpful, I invite you to do that, to journey inward at this full moon, supermoon, Beltane coming moon time. And now in the next few moments of quiet, call to mind a flower that you feel a strong connection with. A flower that you can commune with for a few moments for personal healing. And as the name of that flower comes to you, use that as a focus of your meditation. And now imagine that flower in bud form. And imagine that you are the bud of that flower. Experience yourself communing with the spirit of that flower, and the flower is in its early stages of blooming. Be with that for the next few moments of quiet. And as you continue to experience your connection with flower as bud, call to mind some form of healing or enhanced well-being that you would like to manifest in your life. Let that healing and wellness request for yourself take the form of a word or phrase. And focus on that for a few moments as you continue to experience yourself as the bud of an associated, identified, connected flower. And now, as we join together in a chant, whispering it or speaking it to yourself, bud flowering, bud flowering. Experience yourself beginning to bloom. Bud flowering, bud flowering, bud flowering. Flowering and blooming, flowering and blooming, flowering and blooming. Experience yourself as a beautiful flower in full bloom now. Experience your beauty, experience your power of blooming power within you and around you. Spend a few moments experiencing yourself blooming with that healing into wellness, healing to wellness, healing to wellness, healing to wellness. And as you become one with full bloom, invite that connection with this flower that is in you and that is you now, to bring forth a message, a word, a phrase, a sensation of something that you can do to continue to manifest healing to wellness in your life, in yourself. And now spend a few moments reflecting on your experiences and giving thanks to that flower that you have worked with in your imagination. Knowing that you can work with this meditation or a form of it to aid you during this flowering full moon time into this Beltane time of flowering, to bring about more wellness in your own life. So be it. Now, as you take some deep, slow breaths, move yourself around, hands around. We feel ourselves in our human form. And now I imagine that we are holding a lotus bloom in our hands. And into this magical lotus, a lotus, a sign of spiritual growth and enlightenment, of well-being. We imagine a great, beautiful light rising up before us and joining our whole circle, a beautiful glowing light, many-petaled lotus in the light. And into this light, as our flute-playing roaming gnome, I invite you to silently call on your imagination, your memory of those you know who are in need of healing. And as the music plays, as you focus on each name wherever you may be, imagine an image of that one needing healing, human, creature, plant, place, going into our beautiful glowing light of our lotus, joining. So as we hear some wonderful flute music, we do our healing work. Experience the beauty of our joined healing work. We experience our healing power going out to all those in need, those whose names, whose images, whose connections we are sending well wishes to. And now I bring forth a flower that is known as Ostromeria. In fact, some know it as Peruvian lily. And we have had many blooms tonight. And why I choose this bloom for our planetary healing is that it is a flower that literally goes around the world. It is beloved because these flowers keep their bloom for a really long period of time. I invite you to call to mind an image of planet Earth that is being surrounded by blossoms of love and well-being. And in the next few moments of quiet, I invite you to call to mind your connection with planet Earth, with this blooming full moon time. Healing and wellness to planet Earth. Abundance, prosperity, well-being to planet Earth. Healing and wellness for planet Earth. Blooming abundance, love, peace, harmony for planet Earth. And now I invite you to call to mind the place where you are joining in this celebration. And let some of the flowering joys, healing, inspiration, and well-being flow from us, this circle, into the place where you are now. May we be well. May our local areas be well. May the planet that is our home, that connects us all together, be well. So be it.
Thank you so much for that wonderful flower healing meditation, Selena. I now call on Laura to release the circle.
Thank you, Judith, for everybody who has joined us today. Remember, our circle is more magical than ever because it goes through the internet to the interwaves. Now or later, whenever you watch this, you were within the circle and now we release it together. We thank the powers, the energies of the West and water. We thank the South and the fire for vitality. We thank the East for our air and our mind. We thank the North for our healthy body and the planet. We thank the earth below us for sustaining us. We thank the cosmos above us for teaching us. And we thank the spirit within us for being. The circle is open, but never broken. Merry do we meet, merry do we part, and merry do we meet again. So mote it be.
So mote it be. Thank you, Laura. Selena, would you like to give your thanks and a farewell?
We give thanks to the full moon, the supermoon, to all of us who've gathered here. We give thanks to the flowering of the ground. May we continue to grow in physical well-being. We give thanks to the flowering of the vines. May we continue to grow in mental well-being. We give thanks to the flowering of the branches. May we continue to grow in stamina, resilience, vitality, and well-being. We give thanks to the flowering of the marsh. May we continue to grow in emotional well-being. We give thanks to this flowering full moon and the spirit within and around. May we continue to grow with flowering in our souls, wellness in our souls. And we carry from this circle our connections with the moon, our connections with flowers in a variety of forms, ones we have shown and spoken about here, ones that we have transformed into and worked with as part of healing and wellness work, and the flowering that is rebirth, regeneration, resilience. And as we bring closure to this circle, I invite all who have been joining us live and those who join us later, for this will be archived on our channel, to put a word or a phrase in the chat if you wish about something that you carry from this circle into your own life. Not only to let us know this and strengthen connection, but to help you remember it. May you be well, may you be safe, and may you continue to bloom. So be it.
Thank you, Selena. We're now going to have Laura give us a couple of words on behalf of Circle Sanctuary, and then we'll come back into gallery view so that all of us can wish you a farewell.
Thank you. Just to remind everybody, this is a year that we've been doing this services online, and we have made the best of the circumstances. We have podcasts, we have videos, we have ceremonies, we have events, and everything has brought us together to a larger community worldwide. However, none of this will be possible without the volunteering work of the team of volunteers, ministers in training, and members of Circle Sanctuary. We do still have a land to which we want to come back. We have the nature preserve land in Wisconsin that is called Circle Sanctuary, and our land and our church needs our help. Please consider supporting Circle Sanctuary by joining our membership program and getting the benefits of the membership, or with a donation to the Circle COVID-19 Relief Fund. You can find more information on both at Circle's website, circlesanctuary.org. Please help us keep the light on and the doors open. Blessed be.
Thank you so much, Laura. I now invite all of the presenters to hold up your candle or your flower. Thank you for celebrating the flowering full moon with us. Please join Circle Sanctuary this coming Saturday for our virtual Beltane celebration, and then join us again on Wednesday, May 26th for the next full moon circle, which will honor the sacred trees. May this blooming time of year bring you joy and growth. Be well and blessed spring, everyone. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. So mote it be.